Lions Nation, have you ever been at a game where the noise suddenly dies, where the crowd's roar fades into a nervous silence, and you can almost hear your own heartbeat pounding in your ears? That's where we are right now. And if that pulse in your chest is telling you this season just shifted in a big way, smash that like button, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and ride this wave with us. Because what happened on that field wasn't just another preseason play. It was the kind of moment that can shake a team to its core. Under the lights of Mercedes-Benz Stadium, with the scoreboard showing 17-10 in our favor, everything felt like just another August tune-up, until it didn't. In an instant, the game was no longer about drives or downs. A collision, a player on the turf not moving, teammates frozen in place, helmets in hand, and an entire stadium holding its breath. We've all seen injuries before, but this one carried that unmistakable weight, the kind that makes you look away and then forces you to look back, praying for some sign of movement. Medical crews sprinted on, the air around them thick with dread, and every passing second stretched like a full quarter. The decision came quickly, but it said everything. Dan Campbell and Raheem Morris, fierce competitors with every reason to keep playing, agreed to run out the final 14 minutes. No more snaps, no more tackles, just the clock winding down in quiet. Respect. Fans from both sides rose to their feet, clapping in unison as the stretcher rolled toward the tunnel. In those moments, the sport strips away the jerseys, the logos, the rivalries, and shows us the humanity underneath. And yet, even with the later update that our guy is stable, has movement, and will stay overnight as a precaution, you can feel the lingering chill. Because stability is just the first step. The road back from a moment like that is long, and it casts shadows over everything we thought we knew about this defense. All summer, the buzz around Allen Park was about how this secondary was turning into something special, depth like we hadn't seen in years. Competition so fierce in camp that every rep felt like a playoff snap. And right in the middle of it was the kind of player you can't fake, the spark plug who makes veterans nod in respect, who lays a hit in practice and still helps you up, who knows the defensive playbook like a second language, but plays with the freedom of a backyard game. That's not just talent. That's chemistry, identity, the heartbeat of a unit. Take that out, even for a stretch, and you risk more than just a gap on the depth chart. You risk the rhythm that makes a defense click. So now Brad Holmes has a choice. Does he trust the guys already here to step into bigger roles, to tighten ranks, and keep that fire alive? Or does he go outside, hunting for a proven veteran who can slot in without missing a beat? We've seen Holmes pull the trigger on a midseason move before, the kind that raises eyebrows around the league and makes analysts quietly mutter, "Detroit's for real." But this isn't about catching people off guard. It's about surviving a blow to the soul of the team before week one even kicks off. And let's be real, this defense was shaping up to be our statement. Last season, we showed flashes, but we were still a couple of plays away from shutting the door on games. This year was supposed to be different. The pass rush looked sharper, the coverage tighter, the communication cleaner. Now, in the space of one night, we're staring at a potential hole that opposing coordinators will circle in red. Do you patch it with hope and next man up mentality, or do you fortify it with experience and leadership that only comes from years in the league? That's the gamble. Bring in someone from the outside, and you risk disrupting the chemistry you've built. Stick with what you've got, and you might be asking young players to grow up fast under the brightest lights. Either path changes the shape of our season. And here's the thing about moments like this. They don't just test the roster. They test the belief of every player in that locker room. Because when you see one of your own go down like that, it either breaks something in you or it steels you for the fight ahead. Right now, Lions Nation is in that space between fear and faith, waiting for the next update, wondering how deep the ripple from this moment will run. And somewhere in Allen Park, the front office has to be asking itself the question that could define our season. Is the answer already wearing Honolulu blue? Or is the missing piece still out there, just waiting for the call that could change everything? Lions fans, tell me how many times have we been here before? That razor's edge where one decision, one gamble, can tip the scales of an entire season. If you're feeling that same electricity in the air that I am, smash that like button. Subscribe to Lions News Fan Report and lock in, because the next move this team makes could decide whether 2025 becomes another almost, or the year we finally roar straight into the history books. We're standing in that rare moment where adversity and opportunity are staring each other down, and it's the Lions who get to choose which side wins. This isn't about filling a roster spot. It's about defining who we are as a franchise. When the pressure is at its highest, look across the NFC North right now, and you'll see the stakes crystal clear. Green Bay's young offense is clicking earlier than anyone expected. Chicago is trying to ride a wave of youthful aggression, untested but fearless. Minnesota's front office is circling the trade market like a shark that smells blood. They're not slowing down, so why should we? Brad Holmes knows better than anyone standing still in this league means falling behind. And after the scare we've just endured, there's no time to let momentum slip through our fingers. The question isn't whether we act, it's how bold we're willing to be. Imagine the shift if we land a veteran defensive back with playoff pedigree, someone who's already been through those bitter, freezing January nights when mistakes cost seasons, someone who understands that leadership isn't just about being vocal. It's about setting a standard in every rep, every meeting, every snap. That type of presence could settle the jitters in our secondary, free up our safeties to take calculated risks, and give Aaron Glenn the confidence to unleash blitz packages that turn opposing quarterbacks into sitting ducks. It's the kind of move that doesn't just plug a gap, it changes the very shape of the battlefield. History tells us the Lions have thrived in moments like this, when the front office dared to make a move that others called risky. Think back to the spark Glover Quinn brought, or how Golden Tate reshaped our offensive identity when he arrived. Those weren't just acquisitions, they were statements. And right now, this team needs a statement. Losing an emotional heartbeat in the secondary this early can either fracture a defense or force it to evolve into something more dangerous. The right addition could turn this into our rallying point, the remember when moment we talk about in every future highlight reel. But timing is everything. Move too soon, and you might disrupt the rhythm already building in camp. Wait too long, and a couple of early season losses could loom like storm clouds over an otherwise promising campaign. Holmes and Campbell have to read more than injury reports. They have to feel the pulse of the locker room. Are these guys ready to carry the load themselves, or do they need reinforcements to keep the dream alive? And if reinforcements come, can they mesh instantly, without forcing the unit to start over from scratch? Beyond the X's and O's, this is about the message it sends. Bring in a proven player, and you're telling the locker room that you believe in this team's window right now, not 2 years from now, not someday, but today. You're telling fans across Detroit that we're done playing catch-up, that we're willing to swing big even before the season's first whistle. And you're telling every opponent that if they thought we'd stumble because of one setback, they've underestimated just how much bite this pride has left. Because here's the truth: football seasons aren't won by the teams that stay healthy. They're won by the teams that adapt fastest when they don't. Injuries are inevitable. The response is what separates contenders from pretenders. The Lions have been climbing toward contender status for years, brick by brick, heartbreak by heartbreak. Now, staring down this fork in the road, the choice we make could harden us into a team nobody wants to see in December. So Lions Nation, brace yourself. The call that could change everything might already be happening behind closed doors in Allen Park. Will it be a familiar face rising from the depth chart to own the moment? Will it be a new arrival bringing grit and swagger to our secondary? Or will Holmes shock us all with a move so unexpected that it forces the rest of the NFC to adjust on the fly? However it plays out, this is the heartbeat before the roar, the moment when a season's destiny starts to take shape. And if we get this right, the road to the playoffs won't just pass through Detroit. It'll start here, fueled by every ounce of fight this city has left to give.